guess we get started. Is it working now? Okay, thank you everybody for being here this morning. As we get started, I want to remind everybody, we are recording this. I guess we're recording it. It's also on the for the internet for our legions of fans out there across the country. So when you do speak into the speaker, because the acoustics are not that great here, and it's a lot better to be able to be heard, not just here in the room, but also on the video and the internet. Let's see, I'd like to call the meeting to order. First order of business I guess we'll do here is have Sandy call the roll call.
Yes. President Garrett?
Here.
Vice President Aiken?
Present.
Sandy, you need to use your microphone as well.
Governor Ellsworth?
Here.
Governor Lyon?
Here.
Governor Kagan?
Here.
Governor Montgomery?
Here.
Governor Mulvaney?
Here.
Governor Ostomecki?
Here.
Governor Ross?
Here.
All come.
Okay, thank you. Okay, first on the agenda here we'll have the resolutions. Co-chairs John and Nancy Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. President, Board of Governors, distinguished guests. Here's a report. Resolutions, Dallas, Texas. Whereas on March 3rd through 5th, 2016 in Dallas, Texas, the American Numismatic Association held its National Money Show, a highly successful and outstanding event. And whereas this is the 5th time that the city of Dallas has hosted an A&A convention, and whereas it is fitting that those individuals and organizations that helped achieve this success be recognized for their contributions and efforts. Therefore, be it resolved that the host associations, the Dallas Coin Club and the Texas Numismatic Association, be thanked for supporting this convention, and that the association extend its gratitude to host chairman Jim Fitzgerald, Assistant Host Chair John Post, and all Dallas committee members, along with local and national volunteers, for their valuable assistance. And be it resolved that the association membership thank the following for their diligent and tireless work for this National Money Show. A&A President Jeff C. Garrett, and the Board of Governors appointed officers, Executive Director Kimberly Kick, and the A&A staff, especially Conventions Director Rhonda Skurick, Exposition Manager Sam Joseph, Convention Assistant Brett Steele, Convention and Sponsorship Coordinator Jennifer Croak, and the Advertising Sales Associate Tiffany Bushell. And be it resolved that all reports delivered at the convention by A&A officers, staff members, and committees be accepted with thanks, and that the K. Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center and the Omni Dallas Hotel and the Aloft Dallas Downtown Hotel be thanked for their cooperation and assistance, and that the numismatic publications be recognized for their coverage and support of this convention, and that the association thank Coin Television and Coin Week for their coverage, and that the association also thank convention sponsors and patrons for their generous financial support. And be it resolved that the association expresses thanks to the official A&A auctioneer, Heritage Auctions, for its participation in this convention. And be it resolved that the association expresses its thanks to Robert Brueggemann and Positive Protection Incorporated for providing convention security for collectors and dealers alike. And be it resolved that the association expresses sincere thanks and gratitude to all numismatists and institutions who share their knowledge and/or collections in the A&A Museum Showcase, collector exhibits, money talks presentations, and other educational programs, meetings, and events, and that to those collectors who served as official A&A exhibit judges. And be it resolved that the association recognize the vital support and participation of the professional numismatists who purchase tables and serve collectors and the public at this event, and that all persons not herein recognized be thanked for their support, effort, time, contributions, without which a convention of this magnitude could not proceed with such ease and efficiency. Respectfully submitted by the A&A Resolutions Committee, March 5th, 2016. John and Nancy Wilson, Charles Opitz, A&A Board Representative, Governor Dr. Ralph Ross, and the A&A Staff Liaison, Barbara Gregory. Thank you.
Thank you, John. That's good. Okay, could I have a motion and a second to accept in the minutes to 2016 Dallas National Money Show resolutions as presented?
So moved.
Oh, who's here? Who was
Aye.
over? Walter and Tom. Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No abstentions? Okay, that passes. Okay, next on the agenda is approval of the open session minutes. Can I have a motion, a second, to approve the open session minutes of the special meeting held December 19th, 2015? Paul?
November 19th.
What's that? I'm sorry, November. I was looking at the wrong thing. November 19th, 2015. Paul made the motion. I mean, Paul, and second, Tom. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Next is need a motion and a second to approve the open session minutes and teleconference meeting held December 10th, 2015. Have a motion? Steve Ellsworth. A second?
Aye.
Ralph Ross. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Okay. Passes 9-0. Okay. Third order of business. We'll go to the audit committee report. Greg Lyon, chair, with Treasurer Jerome Walton and Controller Carol Schumann.
So each year the ANA is audited by a public accounting firm in order to get the financial state of health of the organization. This year, for the first time in 9 years, the ANA used a different auditor than we had previously used. There was no negative reason that we made the change. It was just, it's just good practice on occasion to rotate auditors to ensure that a different set of eyes is looking at your books on occasion. This year we used Walt Goodwin of Colorado Springs. The audit committee found the audit director, Lane Goodwin, exceedingly helpful. He spent well over an hour on the phone with us, going through the audited financial statements in exquisite detail, answering a number of questions of the various committee members, and providing us a very good overview of where we stand. In spite of a stock market that was down, I think on the neighborhood of 4 to 5% last year, the ANA's net assets actually increased by just under $3,000 last year, which means that we are making a well-balanced use of our resources. We're not draining them down, and at the same point, we are not letting them grow without using them for program services. Our investments last year did close up about, I think the Benny Keith stock, which is the predominance of our investment, was up about 5%. The Oakmark funds, which contains the more liquid investments, were down a few points, but nothing out of line with the way the overall market performed. The other point that I will note is we did finally close out the line item for a defined benefit pension program, which was terminated in 2013. We had previously set aside a certain amount of money to close that out, and it turns out that the money that we had set aside was in excess of what we needed, so we did take revenues back to account for what we had set aside but did not use.
Could you also speak? I think they made a few recommendations that last night
Yes.
we discussed to make.
There were a couple of recommendations that the auditors made regarding our financial controls. Give me a moment here. Oh, actually, I gave those to you yesterday. Oh, I have them right here. Just regarding oversight of credit card transactions, payroll reports, bank statements, and bank statements. Kim has implemented all of those recommendations. Another change was regarding the valuation of our charitable remainder trust, which is the Benny Keith stock that is held in trust for us as other trustees pass away. There are 3 values which go into determining a present value for that. One is life expectancy of the remaining trustees. 2 is the discount rate. And the third one is,
I think there was also the conflict of interest things that they.
I was going to get to that in a moment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But there are a couple of things a couple of variables which go into valuing the remainder trust, and the ANA had been making changes on that at different points in the past, and the recommendation was to use one set of values going forward just so we can compare apples to apples on a yearly basis. That change was made. And then finally, a a recommendation that the ANA get specific conflict of interest information from board members and key members of management. We already had a conflict of interest policy in place, but this would provide the parliamentarian a list of conflicts so that if somebody forgets a conflict when a vote takes place, that they can be reminded of that, and we can proceed from there. And that has been adopted as well.
Okay, thank you for your report. Any board members have any other additional questions that they'd like to talk about that or before we vote on it? I think we got that. Okay, thank you for a nice and thorough review on that. Can we get a motion? Well, I guess we already motion by Greg Lyon. We need a second to accept the fiscal year end 10/31/15 audited financial report prepared by Waugh and Goodwin LLP.
So moved.
Gary Atkins makes a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, none opposed? Okay, that's accepted. The B is a motion by Greg Lyon, seconded by, need a second, Paul Montgomery, to approve the fiscal year end 10/31/15 990 report prepared by Waugh and Goodwin LLP.
Let me give a little just background on this. The Form 990 is basically the equivalent of a tax return for a nonprofit organization. It's an IRS document. Prepared by Waugh Goodwin, the difference between the 990 and the audited financial statements is that the board is approving this as an official association document that will be submitted to the IRS. So,
these documents are also available online for members. Correct. Is that correct?
Correct.
When do those post? Will they be posted? It's at some point. How far into the future? Couple weeks. Okay, that's good.
And I would imagine the audited financial statements could go up next week since the board has approved them.
Okay, I just want to mention that. So if anybody, you hear things that we talk about, and if you want to know more detail about it, you can go online, and it's we're a very transparent organization. You can see what the information is being filed, and it's been that way for a long time, I guess, right? That's right. So you know that.
There are at least close to, if not 10 years of our documents of this neighborhood online currently.
Okay, thank you. That's very good. I think we already had the motion in the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None, any opposed? None? Okay, thank you. Okay, number 4, we'll go into Treasurer's Report. Jerome Walton, Treasurer. You're live.
Okay. Our beginning balance was essentially 28 million, and we had increases of 1.1 million, and the Oakmark investments were down because we removed 1.9 million to accomplish the membership database, which is handled by a company called Euclid. We also included in that the change from the defined benefit, which is handled by a company called Great West. And so our overall, our funds increased by 1.1 million, which leaves us a net of 864,000. Any questions?
So when you say net of 864, and that's in what ledger is that? What does that number mean?
That means that the beginning balance and withdrawals and reinvestments gives us an ending balance of 864,000 net increase.
Okay, so it's the net of the outflow versus the income.
Yes.
Okay, so everybody understands that. So, any of the board have questions for Jerome? So you see that? Okay, well, thank you for that. I think we're just like we're doing pretty well with things from the last couple of years, and hopefully going forward the next year or two, things will also do as equally as well. So thank you. Okay, number 5, the bylaws revisions. We had quite a long discussion last night going over trying to figure out how to do that, and I guess also procedurally and which ones to work on. So instead of me trying to stumble through it, I'm going to have our General Counsel, Holly Willing, give you a much better description of it.
Thank you. In collaboration with the Bylaws and Ethics Committee, the board is considering a number of proposed revisions to the bylaws. We did decide that we needed more time to look at some of those, but we are prepared to vote on 3 specific revisions today. Those revisions, generally, they are found, copies of the redlined version of the bylaws are found in the back of the room, but generally they impact Article 3, Section 3, mediation. The proposed bylaw grants discretion to the Board of Governors to hear or to decline to hear requests for mediation between parties. The board will be voting on that in its first motion. Its second motion today is a proposed revision to Article 3, Section 4, which relates to suspension and expulsion. In consultation with the Bylaws Committee that originally adopted this section, I believe it was in 2011, the intent of this section was to grant to the board the ability to conduct hearings on suspected violations of the bylaws or ethics codes. And in fact, some members are suggesting that it grants them an automatic right to hearing, and we just wanted to provide clarification to members that this is in fact intended to be a board process and that the board has discretion whether to exercise this hearing process or not. So there are clarifications made to make this consistent with the original intent. That will be the second motion. Finally, the third motion relates to the Board of Members Code of Ethics, and it grants one makes the form of notice provided when there are member complaints and there's a suspicion that someone or an allegation that someone has violated the member or the board member code of ethics, we have to provide notice. This revision makes the notice required consistent with other notice requirements in the bylaws. We also are specifically referencing the fact that in our bid process, the contract price is not the only consideration we will make in awarding contracts. In some instances, we receive bids that are very close in price, but there may be some non-monetary factors that we need to consider. Maybe there's some promotional opportunities or other reasons we might want to award a contract to a particular party. This is just providing clarification that, in fact, we can consider factors other than price in awarding contracts. So those two are part of the third motion we'll be voting on today.
Okay, thank you. The process of changing the bylaws and going through it was quite a chore. It's a big document, and there were a lot of suggestions by the committee. Holly had worked on it really hard, and the board last night felt that we were going to work on it in pieces. Some of the things, these kind of rose to the top is of importance, so that's why we're going to vote on those today. And then going forward, we're going to try to work on it in sections. So just everybody knows how the process will work, and then we'll be reporting on that process as we go. Would any board members like to comment on what we talked about last night and the process? Gary?
Yeah, I think it's important to note that the bylaws are basically the rules that the board of directors go by in operating the organization, and also our staff and officers. And so it's important that we really take a good hard look at that and analyze all the changes that were proposed. And I don't think we had sufficient time to do that last night. So I think that, on advice of our legal counsel, to review some of these things is really important.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Anybody else like to make a comment? Paul?
I'd also like to point out that bylaws for an organization as old as the ANA are a living document. And we are looking at changes today that are based on what's going on in the world today. some of the bylaws that are part of our bylaws now are just, they need to be reviewed because it's been a very, very long time since they have been. And so I want to thank Holly and also the team that's working on it, because it's not an easy chore, and then even handing it to us is challenging because everybody wants what's in the best for the association moving forward. And so I'd just like to make sure that the board understands that because we're doing these things today doesn't mean that the world changes in about 5 years and they're going to be looking at this again and saying, wow, we need to work on this again. So a living document, that's what really makes this organization.
I agree with you. Very important, especially today with litigation the way it has in the past that we've had issues with. So it's very important that we do everything we can to protect the organization. So I'm glad we're doing it carefully and thoroughly. So, Walter?
And there were also some concerns, to piggyback on what Gary said, that the committee itself, the bylaws committee, could not reach consensus on some areas. So they were going to work further so that we could develop those two into our new bylaws rather than doing bylaws again and again and again. So it's just important that, like you say, it's a living document, it's a process we're undergoing, and it's a good thing that we take a look at the future of this organization that way.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think the board's going to work really hard to try to get this accomplished. It's been going on for a while, so it is something that, like you would say, it's just because whatever decisions we make now can still be revisited later, but it's still better to do something and have it done and then look at it again later. So we'll try to really make sure it gets accomplished. So let me ask you, so do we need to vote on these motions one by one, or do we do them, they need to be one by one? That's
and before
correct.
we vote, I just want to acknowledge, in addition to my work, the Bylaws and Ethics Committee has spent lots of time reviewing this and collaborating on it, so we need to give them credit as well.
Yeah, a lot of credit due for them, and also they still have quite a bit of work to do, so you can urge them on. So it's a lot of work to do, a lot of work to be done. So I guess we'll make a motion. So how do we? Okay. Yes, Sandy, can you help us put that together?
Okay, motion by Governor Montgomery, second by Governor Kagan, to revise Article 3, Section 3, mediation of the bylaws as follows. Section 3A, mediation may be recommended only by written request for mediation. Mediation forms shall be available on the ANA website, www.money.org, or will be mailed to any person requesting such form. Mediation policies and procedures and forms shall be available on the association's website. Whoops, said that. Or mailed as written upon a written request made to the association headquarters at 818 North Cascade Avenue, Colorado Springs, Colorado 80903. All requests for mediation shall be administered in accordance with the mediation policies contained in the policy manual. Furthermore, item C has been revised as, or added as, the Board of Governors retain discretion to hear or decline to hear requests for mediation between parties. Item D added, only the Board of Governors may expel a member pursuant to the mediation process.
Okay, so we have we've already had the motion and the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? None? Okay, passes 9-0. Okay, so go to the second one now.
Yep.
Okay.
Catching up on the paperwork. Okay. The next motion by Governor Kagan, second by Governor Ellsworth, to revise Article 3, Section 4, suspension and expulsion of the bylaws. It reads as follows. The Board of Governors may initiate a proceeding to expel a member without invoking the requirements of the mediation policy when the Board of Governors, in its sole discretion and by majority vote, has determined that evidence exists that there has been a serious violation of the member or dealer code of ethics and or these bylaws, and that the mediation process should not be used. Prior to suspending or expelling a member, the association shall provide notice and opportunity to respond, and if requested by the responding member or Board of Governor, a hearing. The process for any Board of Governor action is set forth in the ANA's policy manual. The manual shall be available on the association's website at www.money.org or will be mailed upon written request made to the association headquarters at 818 North Cascade Avenue, Colorado Springs, Colorado 80903. Oh, that was Section A. Section B does not change. Section C, the Board of Governors shall have the right to, but shall not be obligated to publish any notice of any expulsion under Section 4 in the Numismatist. Section 4D, it reads as follows currently, except as otherwise provided by this Article 3 and association's mediation policy, only the Board of Governors may reinstate the membership of any person or entity who has been expelled from the organization. Any member who has been suspended or expelled, and this is the change, for reasons other than indebtedness or failure to return any library book or other property of the NA may not rejoin the association without first applying for reinstatement of his or her membership. And then Section 5, advertising has been deleted.
What's that?
Section 5 is crossed out. It's deleted.
I thought
I don't think you actually
Section
voted
5 is
on it.
not, yeah.
during what we decided yesterday was to only make changes to Section 3 and Section 4.
Yeah, I stand corrected. We're talking 4. That was Section 5, and it's not changing yet.
Okay, so are we prepared to vote or no? Okay, okay. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay, that passes. Thank you. We have one more section to vote on?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, motion by Governor Kagan, second by Governor Ellsworth to revise the board member code of ethics, sections 14 and 15 as follows. On subparagraph A of section 14, the following has been added. The contract price will not be the sole criteria considered. That's the only change on item A. In section 15, the following has been added. The sentence starts, the accused board member shall be notified in writing. Should I read the beginning of that whole section?
That's fine with me, yes.
Okay. So the section 15 reads as follows currently. Any violation of the provisions of the preceding sections 1 through 14 will be grounds for expulsion or suspension from membership in the association or other disciplinary action to be imposed by a majority vote of the board. Such vote will be taken on the grounds of a complaint made by any board member, officer, employee, or member of the association. The accused board member shall be notified in writing of the charge against him or her and of the date set for the board's consideration thereof. This has been added. By any form of reasonable delivery, provided that a return receipt or other acknowledgement of receipt is obtained at the address last furnished to the association, and such notice shall be sent at least 30 days prior to the date of the meeting. The remaining section, or a portion of the remaining section, was deleted. We deleted by registered or certified mail directed to him or her at the address of the last furnished of the association. Said notice shall be set forth at the hearing date shall be less than 30 days after receipt of said notification by said accused board member. The last sentence is unchanged. Said charge shall not be referred to the mediation committee.
Thank you. That's a mouthful. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, Sandy, for getting us through that. That was great. Okay, well, next we go to number 6, A&A Historian. David Sklow was appointed the A&A Historian on August 15, 2015 at the World's Fair of Money Convention in Rosemont, Illinois. On September 1st, 2015, David Sklow became the library manager and a full-time employee of the A&A, rendering him ineligible to continue service as a special officer of the association per article, I think that's 50, I'm not real good on Roman numerals, is it? I guess that's great. Duties of corporate officers and special officers, Section 3, concurrent service of the A&A bylaws, which states, associate employees may not serve as appointed officers or special officers, except that the association employee shall be permitted to assist the secretary in the performance of his or her duties at the request of the secretary. So I need a motion and a second to remove David Sklow from position as A&A historian by reason of ineligibility to serve as a special officer while serving as an employee of the A&A with appreciation for his service to the association. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Walter?
The second.
Second, where? Who's second?
Ross.
Ralph Ross, second. Any discussion about that? Does everybody understand why this is happening? Everybody okay? All in favor?
Aye.
None, any opposed? No? Okay. In accordance with Article 4, the Section 2F of the A&A bylaws, I hereby appoint Q. David Bowers as the A&A historian, subject to the approval of the Board of Governors. I reached out to Dave to take this on, and he enthusiastically embraced it, and I don't think we could have anybody better to be our A&A historian. He actually wrote the book on our history. I'm not sure when it was. 91. What's that, 91? And I think, is he working on an update? Is he updating it for 125th, or is he doing some sort of project?
He's doing every monthly.
He's doing a monthly edition for our history, so he's kind of on the case, so I think we got the right person for the job. So I need a motion and a second to approve the selection of Dave Bowers as A&A historian.
So moved. Second.
Greg and Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I wish
thank
to
you.
abstain, Mr. President.
What's that?
I wish to voice an abstention.
You're going to abstain?
Yes, sir.
Okay, one abstention. So it's 8, 0, and 1. Okay. Number 7, ratification of approval to accept APMEX scholarship funding. See, Kim, would you like to maybe?
I can do it.
Yeah, why don't you talk like that? So,
Any donations in the amount above $10,000 have to have the approval of the Board of Governors. Originally, APMEX had a statement of intent to provide $5,000 to fund a scholarship for our summer seminar. APMEX paid $10,000 towards this scholarship, the acceptance of which requires board approval per the policy manual. Upon receipt of the $10,000 payment, I notified the Board of Governors of their intent and conducted a straw poll of the board, which was unanimously in favor to accept. So now you can read the motion.
now we need a motion and a second to ratify the result of the straw poll to accept the additional $5,000 from APMEX for the APMEX customer sponsored scholarship, resulting in a total of $10,000 for this scholarship. Anybody like to, any discussion for that? Gary?
Yeah, just so the membership is aware who APMEX is, it's American Precious Metals Exchange out of Oklahoma. They're probably one of the largest retail precious metals dealers in the country. So we're grateful that they were willing to participate.
And also, just so everyone is aware of why we have this rule into effect, it's to protect the organization from maybe an employee selling a sponsorship or doing something with an organization that the board may feel that we wouldn't want to be associated with. So that's just sort of a double check site system. So that's why we have this vote in the first place. So,
Kim, when you get a chance, could you CC me on the responses you got in the straw poll directly?
Yes, I have them here.
okay, with that, I need a motion.
So moved.
Gary, second. Paul? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Any opposed? No abstentions? Yeah, it passes. Okay, number 8 on the agenda, we have our legal counsel report by Holly. So,
I am pleased to report that there's not much to report, other than some general contract review and occasional consultation on compliance issues. Things are sailing smoothly.
Well, thank you. That's a super short and welcome report, so I like that. So we'll keep it that way. Excellent. Okay, number 9, we'll have the Executive Director report by Kim Kick.
Good morning, everyone. The month of February marks the beginning of our partnership with Whitman Publishing as our official ANA official supply company. We are pleased to be able to offer our members a 10% discount on purchases made through this time-honored numismatic company, and look forward to growing our outreach through Whitman's national distribution capability. We have begun our 2016 membership drive with a special ANA 125th Anniversary Silver Eagle promotion, the primary goal of which is to recruit new members. We also want to improve membership retention by offering 3-year renewals to current members with the Silver Eagle Premium. The limited edition Dallas National Money Show label coin is available at our admissions counter for new members, 3-year renewals, or donations of $125 to the ANA, with those proceeds funding membership growth. This campaign is made possible through generous gifts from NGC, Minshall Trading, Lee Mitchell, Heartland Precious Metals, Governor Paul Montgomery, Universal Coin and Bullion, Mike Fulgens, Kagan's Inc., Governor Don Kagan, Mid-American Rare Coin Galleries, President Jeff Garrett, and Monaco Rare Coins, Adam Crun. The ANA is grateful to these companies and their principals for support of this membership appeal. We could never have done anything without their support. We are excited to have a sold-out Dallas National Money Show with the second highest Bourse revenue behind the Atlanta 2014 National Money Show in the history of our spring shows. Our social media efforts and corresponding results continue to accelerate. Facebook followers have nearly doubled in 4 months to 7,160 followers. The average organic post reach has increased 210%, and YouTube subscribers have increased nearly 30% following the launch of the Video Vignettes series. Coin Collecting 101, our most popular YouTube video, has received over 2,000 views. We have just completed filming a new video vignette, which will be available later in March. Please check in with us. The Numismatist has published a year-long series on 125 years of collecting with the American Numismatic Association, written by Q. David Bowers, who previously authored 3 volumes covering the ANA Centennial. Bowers' engaging articles cover the rise of the association under founder George Francis Heath, as well as collecting trends, anecdotes from past ANA conventions, and the emergence of key figures in the hobby during the economic highs and lows of the 20th century. The library reports an increase in usage comparing 3rd and 4th quarter 2015 data to the previous year. Total checkouts of materials are up 53%, and a new patron usage is up 28%. We are excited by this data and encourage our new members and current members to contact the ANA Library for their research needs. The member count as of February 25th, 2016, the total is 24,643, and we plan to see that continue to grow. January cash donations totaled 10,778, with 7 in-kind donations made to the ANA. At our ANA headquarters, Carol Schumann recently conducted a building walkthrough and security training for all employees. This is mandatory for worker safety and emergency preparedness. On February 11th, we held a reception for the opening of our Olympic Games History and Numismatics exhibit. In attendance were Colorado Springs Mayor John Suthers, members of the City Council of Colorado Springs, the United States Olympic Committee, several Olympic athletes, and the CEOs of the Colorado Springs Fine Arts Center and Conventions and Visitors Bureau. It was a wonderful grand opening event, and of course, past President Tom Hollenbach was there too. The 2016 National Coin Week runs April 17th through 23rd this year. The theme, Portraits of Liberty, Icon of Freedom, was suggested by member Nelson Hanks. 2016 marks the centennial anniversary of 3 popular U.S. coin designs: the Mercury, or the Winged Liberty dime, the Standing Liberty quarter, and the Walking Liberty half dollar. For more information on National Coin Week, look under Events on money.org or email ncw@money.org. Information about summer seminar is also available on money.org. Sessions 1 and 2 take place June 18 through the 30th. This is the Numismatic educational event of the year, and I hope to see you there. Registration is now open online at money.org. A once-in-a-lifetime celebration of our 125th anniversary will occur in Anaheim at the World's Fair of Money. Save the dates, August 9 through 13, to be a part of this special historic event. And if you don't already have your ANA 125th Anniversary Red Book, limited quantities are available at the admissions area. Make a donation to the ANA in the amount of $125 for the special edition Red Book, or $175 for the Red Book signed by Senior Editor Ken Brissett. So I just wanted to provide this Executive Director update report, and I thank you for your continued support of the ANA in so many ways. Thank you.
Thank you. Very, very, very good. Lots of good things to report. Could you also maybe mention about the legacy dinner we had on, and then maybe how members can see that? Because I thought for anybody that didn't miss that or did miss it, it was really a wonderful, wonderful event, very enjoyable, and I encourage people to try to see the video when they have a chance.
Yes, this was the launch of our first fundraising Legacy Series event. We have already videotaped 3, and we continue to do these tapings to preserve some of the icons in the numismatic community. Our funding is very low on this, and that's our goal, is to continue to raise funding for this Legacy Series. So the event held, and we are going to continue to hold, in Anaheim, we'll have our 125th anniversary on Tuesday for our kickoff. But after that, we're going to continue this event at each event going forward as a fundraiser. So this time, what we did, we had Steve Ivey and James Halpern from the local Dallas area, and everyone paid a fee to come and have a nice dinner and then watch the video series, which is similar to Inside the Collector's Studio, or the TV series studio. And it was wonderful. There was a series of questions, and you learn about the lives of these pillars in our community and how they built. And it was a wonderful event. We had a great time, and we hope to see everyone participate in the future for that.
Speak about how it'll be, how people can see it that weren't attending.
Oh, yes, okay. So our video crew filmed that, and that will be converted to be able to be a file on our website. And Rob, do you know, will it be next month? I'm not sure. We will notify it, but this will be open to all of our members to be able to view this wonderful series.
It's about an hour long, right? About an hour long, so but really worth listening to. I've known both individuals for 40 years, and I learned a lot about them during the event. So it was even though you think you might know them, you can still learn a lot about their history and what they've done in the industry. So it was very, very worthwhile. Anyone else have any questions for Kim? What's that?
Kudos as well to it. You know, those of you that do watch that video, Barbara Gregory was awesome.
Yeah.
And I think we should give her a round of applause and kudos for the program, because she really brought it alive.
Oh, yeah,
and made
absolutely.
people feel that. So I want to extend my kudos, and I hope the board will do it as well, to our editor, Barbara Gregory.
Yeah, it was very fascinating and well done, very professionally done, so very, very good. So anybody else have any questions for Kim before we move on? So, well, good job. Everything's it's all great work. Next on the agenda is I think Kim's mostly covered the 125th anniversary Siegel Eagle campaign. She didn't mention this program is going to have 2,500 coins, so it'll be available for anybody who wants to join as a platinum member. Also, anybody who wants to do a 3-year renewal, and then as a donation for life members. So it's included, so everyone can get one. I think it's a wonderful program. It's an idea. I think one of the things I'm trying to do as president is to bring people into the organization, and then it's our job to keep them as members. And I think this is a step in trying to get them into at least get them into the door, so they can share all the wonderful things that the organization does, and how wonderful it is to be a member of the ANA. So I think the program started off well, and it'll be continuing through the end of the year. And if anybody also share the word with your friends, people at coin clubs. It's a great way to give someone something tangible as a start as a membership. So I think it seems to be going good.
How many coins here?
What's that? There's 500 coins here at the show,
table?
right? I believe. I'm not sure how many we've sold.
Maybe those of us who have Bourse tables can have one, so we can show people as we give them ANA membership.
I'm sure you can go by and get one, so I don't think it'd be a problem. So, and they came out beautiful. I don't know if anybody's seen them. They're really. It's a gorgeous coin, and it looks really nice, and I think it's a wonderful way to honor the 125th anniversary of the organization with the 2016 Silver Eagle. So I think it looks good. But and also I want to thank everybody who participated as donors for the program, because it was not cheap. So it's good that we got everybody to step up to the plate. Especially NGC, who probably gave us $25,000 or $30,000 worth of grading for free. So that was great for them. So anyway, I think that's great. We'll move on to the next thing on the agenda is online Morgan Dollar grading project. This I've worked with have had discussions with the Education Committee. One thing that I have kind of been unhappy about is that the ANA, kind of, in my opinion, is the leader in the education about coin grading. Everyone knows that the summer seminar is the place to go to either get started as a beginner, intermediate, or advanced. I've known people have taken all the classes, and some of them multiple times. A lot of people have gone there and ended up becoming coin dealers after doing it. They've learned a lot. We do a great job of teaching it. We've got it in our correspondence courses. We have a lot of things, but it's not online, which I think is really a shame for our organization, because we have 24,500 members, and only, I don't know how many people take grading class every summer, but it's probably 50 to 100, I guess, somewhere in that range. So I'd like to have that information available on a much larger basis. And one idea I'd had is maybe any great project is you can try to say you want to have something to happen, but then you get bogged down in the details. It's like, how do you do it? It's, how do you learn how to grade all U.S. coins? And it's just you almost get stopped because of something so big and such a challenge, and especially when you have limited resources. And that's one of the handicaps we have as an organization. One of my ideas was to maybe focus on, at least start with coin grading with Morgan dollars, because that's a series that they're big. You can look at them, and you can learn if you can learn how to grade those, you can extrapolate that to a lot of other United States series. Also, I've been working with National Silver Dollar Roundtable is offered to maybe help us build a grading set. It's a complicated process because not everybody agrees on grades. It'll have to be worked out. We have our ANA grading standards we want to promote. It's as I can say, it's complicated, but it's something that I've made it a real directive that I want to see by the end of the year, something online for the ANA to do with coin grading. And it'll just be a start. I think, I'm sure whatever we have online this year, 5 years from now, it'll look infantile in comparison, and I think it'll be something we'll grow and we'll work on. And it's also a step of trying to template, because we have limited resources at ANA as far as money and staff. And every time I come up with a great idea, they've already got working at 110%. It's like, okay, how do we do that? So we're trying to figure that out. So I think if we can figure out how to do this, we can figure out how to, next year I want counterfeit detection online, because it's everybody knows that's a giant problem, and we need to address that, because it's a problem that's bad and getting worse, and we need to, the absolute best way to combat that is through education, and that's our mission, I believe, to do that. So we're going to be working on that. I think some board members here have been involved in it. Would anybody like to weigh in on that, or discuss, or have so many discussions, or add anything? Kim just pointed out that we do need to outreach to get Morgan dollars for specific coins for grading. So we'll be reaching out for dealers and membership to anybody to help donate Morgan dollars. So will that be going through the Education Committee, or will we go through Rod specifically? You think he'll probably be one that will build that?
Yes, Rod Gillis and Jeff and I have spoken on this, and yes, Rod will be the lead on this project.
Okay, and Kim, could you maybe we talked about it some last night, but about like when we have ideas like this, what it requires internally for you, for the organization, and also for staff and resources, financial and things like that, just a little bit, and then maybe one of the things we're trying to do to address that.
Well, based on Jeff's comment here, we have limited resources, as you all know, in our yearly budget, and this board has generated so many wonderful new ideas. With that, what we're expecting from these board-generated ideas is actually a written proposal to explain it, and then to help us identify, and I can help identify the resources needed to accomplish it, the financial goals, and then I'm going to have to lean back on the board to help us find those resources, whether they're physical or financial. So everybody has been really working well with the organization on that, and there's been several ideas we've vetted that are good ideas, but we realize at this time we cannot accomplish. They're too expensive. We just can't do it. We can't raise that funding. So I think right now we're going to work on the grading. I think that's a passion of Jeff that he wants to have for our members and non-members, to be able to educate them on grading. So yes, we have to have these proposals with a mapping and a model that we can also work with to present on resources, finances, and all that. So.
And I think we'll learn by doing. So once we start this process,
Yes.
we'll find out internally how it works and how it would look like. So, any comments from the board before we move on to that? So, okay, thank you. Next is, I'm glad this is on the agenda. I wasn't sure that was going to be. This is World and Ancient Bourse section. I guess Rhonda's here. Would you like to come up and talk about this? This is become a hot topic, so I'm glad we're talking about it.
On February 11th, I sent out an email to the board addressing the issue. The issue had come up about we had made the decision as a team within the ANA to do away with the World and Ancient section. Some of the history on that, so if you did not get a chance to read that email, is back in 2013, it was required that we place the Ancient and World section in the middle of the bourse floor. When you do an Ancient and World section, you must have all four sections covered: Ultra Premium, Premium, Select, and Economy. We had a banner above that section at that time, and we received numerous complaints from the dealers that were sitting behind that banner that specialized in coins outside of the Ancient and World genre. So we made the decision in 2013, after that World's Fair of Money, to do away with the banner. We have not had a banner since in 14 or 15, nor have we had a complaint that we did not have a banner. What we did start doing on the bourse floor map is specifying a section for both Ancient and World as well as paper money. Because we do use the star system for placement of tables, where the dealer gets to choose where they want to go, we were seeing more and more dealers moving into that area who were not Ancient and World, and we cannot keep them out per the star system unless we want to revamp that. So this is not an immediate fix to say, well, we just can't let the dealers have that area. So what we decided to do, based on the last show, is we mapped out, and hopefully you all read your email, where every Ancient and World dealer ended up. When we looked at the floor, about half of them were outside of that section because of the star placement system. Now, in addition to having a generated area that says on the bourse map, if you look at it, we also have our our specialty section in your bourse guide, the show guide. And I believe that's where most people are going to look to find an Ancient and World dealer. They're not looking on the little boundary lines that we set on that floor when you look at a floor map. In addition to this show, I don't know if anybody had a chance, we have 2 brand new 55-inch monitors on the floor, sponsored by Lee Minchell this year, that you can go in and you can look for a dealer under a specialty. So if you don't know, I'm going to use Nick from, I just totally drew a blank. Let's use Scott Lewis. He's an Ancient and World dealer. You don't know Scott sells, you can look in Ancient and World and it'll take you to Scott's table. So with that, knowing that the new interactive monitors, knowing that we have the yellow pages as we call them, we decided to do away with the Ancient and World section. It's not something you can find, people are not using on a bourse map. At that point, as I said, I sent the email. It was open for discussion. I heard back from Don Kagan, and I've heard back from Paul Montgomery. I never heard from anybody else, so I'm here to answer questions.
Okay, yeah, well, I think I called you. I did receive some emails. Harlan Burke was concerned about it. I think the concerns that I've been relayed is that when people come in, some of the retail people look for those sections and expect to be able to find them in there. You know, from what I was being told. So currently, right now, so we've got it so that people just it won't be the. I guess it's the banners up above the area.
No, the banner has not been up since 2013, sir.
Since 2013.
Yes.
And how many generally when you had the section for ancients and foreign, how many tables that usually occupy?
Last year, and I'm sorry I don't have an exact count. They probably on a whole had probably 50 to 60 tables on the floor, and I can pass this around if you'd like to see it. This is the full size opposed to what you saw on a PDF. Over half of them were outside the ancient area.
And I guess also another problem too is, if I think I remember you relaying it, is if you have, let's say, 60 tables reserved for that, and then if you only sell 50, then you've got 10 empty tables in there that U.S. dealers would not want to be a part of. Is that correct?
Well, the U.S. dealers are taking it because it's also based on location of floor. So
Right.
if I have to stick my ancient and world in the middle of a floor
But
section.
my point is, you end up not having just ancient and
Correct,
dealers in
exactly.
that section. So
Yeah. Yeah,
So
we
that's-
had definitely had, there's been times in the past we've had more tables reserved than taken.
Don, you and I had conversations about it. What is your opinion about this, or what are your thoughts?
I talked to Ed Waddell, and then he talked to Harlan
You
Burke.
got to talk to your speaker.
Well, I got some concerns from people I deal with who are in the ancient world, and they were used to being able to go to a section so they can get, it's easy to be able to just see all the different ancient dealers in one area, and then they were concerned that nobody would be able to find, but I passed it on to Ed Waddell, passed it on to Harlan Burke, and asked them to work it out and see if they can come up with some sort of compromise, and I guess they were in conversations with you, right?
I've never heard from either gentleman.
You haven't?
No, I have not.
Okay. I guess they went to you with it.
Well, only Harlan. Harlan's called me twice about it and being concerned about it. And and I told Harlan, I'm also not just concerned about dealers. I also concerned about the retail people who come into the coin show. I want to make sure it's an easy task for them to find what they're looking for. So that's another it's an issue. So anybody else in the Gary, you're
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me that we have a separate section for ancient dealers. I mean, I deal in ancient coins. I deal in a little bit of everything. So it seems to me that if a customer is looking for a specific dealer, and we've designated that in our program, how to find those dealers and make it easy for customers that are walking in, that should solve the problem. And if we are going to utilize the STAR system, we should utilize the STAR system. And it means that if somebody's an ancient dealer, if they deal in silver eagles, if they're dealing in gold coins, whatever, that if they're participating in the STAR program, they're going to have an early pick. And Harlan seems to be a guy that probably has an early pick on his table, so I don't see the issue really that we need to deal with on something like this. It seems like it makes sense to me that we have an open bourse floor in a sense, and that we utilize the STAR system if that's what we're going to do.
okay. Would anybody else like to make a comment? Interested in it? Yeah, I'm sorry.
I just have one comment. Being over in the kid zone, we got a lot of questions, and the monitor has been a tremendous help. So has the section in the program that identifies the different dealers. And we get questions not only in ancients and worlds, but tokens, currency, the whole bit. And as Gary's saying, you have a STAR system, use it, and we have a system that they can use as on the retail basis to find what exactly they're looking for anywhere.
I think Gary also brought a really interesting point that a lot of dealers who in the past primarily dealt with the U.S. coins have a lot of ancient coins now. They've just kind of discovered that world, and My table has about a third ancient coins hit it as well, so it's pretty interesting. It's not just a one closed section now. I don't have a problem with it. I think there will be pushback from if we do it. Obviously, I know like Harlan won't be super happy, but I try and invite input, and if someone has a better suggestion, I guess we're always open to ideas. But I think we want to have my primary concern is I want to have when a retail person walks in, they're going to have trouble finding what they're looking for. Don?
We don't have a special section for paper currency, do we? Okay.
We tried that the last couple years. It's been very, very limited of who's taking it. Once again, we run into the star system because a lot of our paper dealers don't come to every show, so they're not owning the stars, and they're picking last anyway. But you can go into the yellow pages and find your paper dealers that way.
So I guess the message is that we're going to eliminate these sections concept, but in replacing that, we're going to make a huge effort to help clients identify how to find material on the bourse floor. We're going to do it through multimedia. And this is also just a good suggestion for anybody listening to this who's a dealer, is to make sure that you give Rhonda and the staff the information to what you want listed, how you want to be listed in the program guide. That's very critical, because I imagine most coin dealers that I know don't do anything till the last second, so it's good, or if they do it at all.
It is on your bourse applications, and if one is missing, we do have Brett Steely, who's our part-time guy. He will go back through history and try to find what you did the last time you listed it.
I think
so we make every effort that we can to get you in the yellow pages.
Okay, Kim?
I was just going to say that we've really stepped up in the convention department to really improve our customer service and those needs. And take a look at the back of the program. I mean, it is like yellow pages. I was helping people on the bourse floor yesterday find paper money, and you turn it and you show them. And then the monitors, take a look at them, press on them, check them out, because they're really terrific. So we've made a lot of efforts to make finding your specialties so much easier.
Yeah, and I'm on the I've attended some of the dealer relations committees, and we really is been quite a few discussions. I've been talking to Rhonda. We're going to try to make the dealer experience better, and as far as maybe making it as appealing as possible when you come in. Also to make it so that it's we have to recognize we probably have among the highest bourse fees in the industry. And we need to really make sure we provide value for that. And that's something that, as a board, I don't think we've ever had that discussion, so that might be something to talk about, because these conventions are the face of our organization for so many of our members, that the only time we really ever interface with the ANA is at a convention, and we need to make that, in a world of dwindling bourses, we need to make sure if you're going to go to one coin show a year, it's absolutely the World's Fair of money. Paul?
I would suggest that we also not forget that half the fun of coin collecting is trying to find the coin. I can't tell you how many times. And this is true for dealers as well, because okay. I don't know how many times that I talk to a collector and he's looking for something that I don't have, and I can send him out to different people that I think that might have it. And so I think this is very spendable as, hey, this is what the hobby's all about.
That's why they call it fishing and not catching, right?
That's right.
Okay, Gary?
Yeah, another thing, comparatively speaking, if you go to Walmart, there's somebody at the front door that's a greeter. They could have a volunteer or something that's there to say, can I help you find anything? That might be helpful to the collectors who are coming to the show. Can I help you find what you're looking for?
We have the message center / information center, and they get a lot of play on that. And Greg is very good, as well as Larry Gay and Barbara Gregory, in directing people the areas they need to go to.
I think that's great. So. Any other discussion on that before we move on? So, okay, thank you, Rhonda.
You're welcome.
That's good, thanks. I think, so that's near the end. I think we're also going to have, Walter would like to make a few comments about the exhibit committee. I guess they had a meeting this morning.
I'm going to get my notes out.
Okay.
Somewhere. What do I know? But the exhibit committee met this morning. I just wanted to share part of their committee report. I was asked if I had a chance to, as the board liaison for that. The committee was looking at a number of issues that they were discussing. I don't want to get into the case issue, so you'll get that through Halbert. That's correct, Mark? Okay, I don't want. Anyway, one of the key things is happening. Joe Bowling will be stepping down as the exhibit trainer, I think that was the word, after this convention. And Brett Eyrich will be taking his place Joe and Brett are working together at this show being trained.
I'm glad
He's
you have
not
a
giving up
replacement.
Chief Judge, he's just taking the training part of it as well.
Judge certification program.
Yes, certification program, true, yes. And there was only one certified individual at this show out of a number that applied for it, so that's on there as well. And they did discuss your concern about the Los Angeles area, layout, so forth. It was okay with them. They realized some of the issues that we had with Disney, and they're addressing those as well.
Okay.
So with that, that's just basically their brief report this morning.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Also, I think I had this a message to read. Is this, Kim, is this what we read into open?
Yeah, it was passed, and you're just going to read it.
Okay, so, yeah, this was passed in executive session, and I guess just to read it, it was a motion by Paul Montgomery and, and seconded by Greg Lyon, to remove the last sentence of the criteria. Members of the A&A boards of governors and past Numismatist of the Year Award recipients may submit nominations for the Numismatist of the Year Award beginning in 2017, the effect of which is to open nominations to the entire membership. So if anybody has any questions about what that is, we discussed that last night. So the way the system was, we felt it was good that sometimes it was a little bit awkward if someone really feels that they'd like to nominate somebody, they'd like to be able to have that process in place. So that was passed last night, so to cover that. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then I think the last thing I just want to make a couple notes is to ask Tom, I was going to ask you, we've been trying to communicate with the advisory board. Have you had any communications with the advisory board, any feedback from, you would like to report about that or discuss that?
The main response from majority of the advisory councils, they really like some of Kim's updates from the executive director. In the past, that wasn't always the case, that they do like the communication with the board, and at this point, everything seems to be quite smooth. They're very appreciative.
Okay, will they be meeting in Anaheim?
What's that?
They'll be meeting again, I guess they'll have a
Yes.
meeting in Anaheim? Okay.
They meet every World's Fair of Money.
Okay,
Yes.
that's good. Well, we appreciate the support and especially yours of the advice of sometimes that we find ourselves having to make tough decisions, and it's good to have the experience of people who have been here and done that already. So it's we appreciate that. Was anybody else like to bring anything else up in open session? I think we've had a lot of good discussions. Anything else? Well, with that, I think we're done for today, and I appreciate everyone's attendance. Is that it?
Motion to
Okay,
adjourn.
thank you. Motion.
No, I have to have it. Okay.
I make that mistake every time too.